This is my grandpa's old Canon AE-1, an analog film camera which at this point is more than 40 years old, making it more than double my age. Up to this point I never even touched a device like this, and today I'm gonna use it. But why and how did I even get my hands on this thing? Let's throw it back to me a few weeks ago. I'm pleased to announce I have a new obsession. So ever since I did this experiment where I tried to take pictures on my childhood Nintendo DSi, my interest in old vintage cameras has been piqued. So after I did this, I asked a bunch of my family members to give me their old cameras they don't use anymore. Because we all know how it is. Once you get a new camera, the old cameras that take worse pictures don't really get used anymore. But you still paid a lot of money for these, so you're not going to throw them away. So they get put in the drawer of doom to never be used again. But you might as well give them to me. So I started to amass a little collection, and there's even more coming. So we have these old compact cameras my parents used to take on vacations to take pictures. Right, let's load up the film. Now I just got to remember how it worked. Are you in there? No? Yes! So now that the first few pictures I'm gonna function. I don't know how many, but I'm just gonna take some pictures of you guys till I know that it's working. Are you sharp? Smile, guys. One more for good measure. Wait, how many shots I even have? Okay, so I'm gonna pack my stuff and we go somewhere this way. Along with the camera, my grandpa also gave me his old camera bag. It's pretty beat up and it smells horrible, the way old leather smells. But it's pretty big and it can fit both my cameras, so I took it with me. He also gave me these two lenses. We have this wide angle lens, which is 28mm, which is really not that wide. This is the more exciting one anyways. This is boring. I have a 28mm, I don't care. This is gonna be more exciting. This is a zoom lens that can zoom up to 200mm, which is even further than all of the other lenses I own. Which is going to be exciting. Bad thing is, I already tried to clean those because there was dust all over them. And this one has like blue dots on the glass right here. I hope they're not going to ruin the pictures I take with this, because I've never used a lens that can zoom this far. I'm kind of excited to try it. Before we start, I have to tell you two things. Number one, none of the pictures I show you in this video have been edited. I got them developed and scanned by lab, and I didn't do anything to the JPEGs I got. That's gonna be very obvious. That's gonna be very obvious once I show you the pictures. Number two, when taking these pictures, I just trusted the internal light meter of my camera. I know that some people like to use external light meters or apps to figure out how to expose the images. The Canon AE-1 has a light meter which tells you which aperture you should use for the shutter speed you've chosen, and I just trusted it and used that exact setting. And it's so hard to focus with this thing. I'm trying to focus on this tree here, but it's barely possible. I can't. I know how to focus this thing. Watch a tutorial. I can't see if it's focused. I have no idea if anybody's gonna see anything on this picture, but just take another one. Why is it? Okay, it's way too zoomed in. I need to change the lens. I managed to change the lens. This is 28mm. Right. So I think this looks pretty cool with this rock, with the dead trees. Might be a nice picture in here. So at this point you're probably noticing why I told you that it would be pretty obvious that these images are not edited. Some parts of these images I showed you so far were very bright. As far as I know from the research I've done, that's a good thing, because you never want to underexpose images with film photography. It's always better to get it a bit brighter. So I guess it's not a bad thing, but yeah, the way the images look when they've not been edited is a lot worse because of this. I'm just gonna edit this picture right here to just take the highlights down a bit. Keep in mind that that's the first time I've ever tried editing an image taken with a film camera. I'm sure you could get better results than this, but I just want to show you that there is something you can do about it in editing. But yeah, for the rest of the video I'm gonna show you the original pictures, just how the camera made them. Honestly, this looks like a kind of nice place for another quick lens swap. I don't know if I want to try the really big one yet. Might be too far. No, let's try 50 again. Oh, I didn't put the lens cap on correctly. That's cool. I don't understand what other people who prefer prime lenses over zoom lenses see in these pictures. It's the most annoying shit. Let's see if it looks good at least. Yeah, I'm way closer to it. Honestly, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah. I'm destroying my pants. Shorter shutter and just go for 1/1000. Oh yeah, it's a low edge. No aperture, that's what I want. Okay, I hope that looks good. I might just try a vertical one as well, because it's a very nice rock. Some nice fields are always cool. Okay, so how am I supposed to focus this picture? Yeah, I can see it. Okay, it's just... Oh yeah, there's a piece of shit on the ground. Okay, that's amazing. So really quick, the first thing. I had a whole rant about it right here, but I'm gonna re-record it because I had no idea what I was talking about. So keep in mind that at the time I was taking these pictures, I didn't really know how to zone focus. All the focusing was done through the focusing mechanism in the viewfinder of the camera. Basically, in the middle of the viewfinder, the image is split in two. When you look through a camera and the upper and lower part of the image are split, then the image is not sharp. If it's lined up, then it's sharp. That's pretty easy to do if you have some sort of straight line to focus on. But in some of these shots in the middle of the woods, when trying to take pictures of plants or just a field, it was pretty difficult to find anything to focus on. In these situations, trying to zone focus would have been a lot easier, but again, I didn't know how to do it or when it would be appropriate. Spoilers, I'm already in the process of making the video about the next camera, where I have to zone focus because that's the only way to focus it. And I'm learning it now, and looking back, it would have been a lot easier to know how to do it back then. And we're gonna go on up there and see if there's something else. Also, another thing I noticed. So, for one, I lock this whenever I put it in the bag or just carry it around, and I forget to unlock it when I want to take a picture. And sometimes I just forget to pull back this lever, so I just stand there wondering why it doesn't take a picture. It's gonna take a while to get used to. Yes, I might have spotted an opportunity to test the zoom lens, the 200mm lens. I'm gonna try it with this one first, but I think it didn't wind it up. Let's just wind it. And then try to focus on this fence right here. Okay. Let's just take another one. Okay, I don't know if it's actually gonna look good, but let's just try it. The big lens. I just want to try if it even works. So let's change lenses again. My favorite thing to do. Big boy lens equipped. So I don't know if you see the fence right there, but I'm trying to photograph along this fence kind of. Let's just see how far I can zoom in first of all. Yeah, that's pretty far. Kind of left side of where I even wanted to focus. Let's crank this all the way up first of all. Let's see. No. Crank it down. Wow, this zoom lens is so hard to focus as well. Pretty much possible to do. What am I even looking at? I don't even know. Didn't wind it up again. I don't even know what I just took a picture of. Okay, wow. Focusing with this thing is impossible. I didn't even know what I was looking at. Let's just try if it works at all. So I'm all the way zoomed in. I'm gonna focus on a nice pole down there. Okay. I think if I gotta wind it up again. I guess what I'm gonna try is gonna take the camera down, put this on a tripod. Maybe it works better with a tripod. Okay, so I'm learning that using this lens without a tripod is impossible. For one, it's pretty much impossible to focus, and second of all, holding this thing, even just holding it, you're turning the wheels all the time. They're so loose. So I'm gonna put it on here so I don't have to hold it. Close this up. Now let's try again. So, where are we trying to go? I want to, there's a little town right there. Oh wow, that zoom is so amazing. It's easier when the image isn't moving all the time. Yeah, this should be fine. Unlock it. I wind it up. I don't think I did. Let's take one more. Okay, let's see if this works better. At this point I just wanted to try if the long lens is working, so I just zoomed in on some cars on the road and on some faraway houses to see if it would work. And yeah, it does, but those pictures aren't too interesting. I just wanted to see if it even still works. I tried taking a selfie with the self timer the camera has. I'm not sure what happened to my face, but I guess it worked. So how was my experience using this camera? Well, first of all, it was very fun. It was fun testing out this new gear, new for me at least. It was also really fun to use the mechanics and to feel the whole camera shake when you press the shutter. It's kind of like a fidget toy almost. This is one of my favorite pictures from this day for sure. I tried to do it so that the logs in the background are sharp and the grass and the plants in the foreground aren't. And it came out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to, so that's nice. Not the most interesting picture, but I'm just happy that I managed to make a picture that actually looks like what I wanted. The image quality, well, a good amount of the images didn't turn out too great. You can for sure tell that I don't really know how to use this thing. A good amount of the shots came out very blurry. I don't know if that's because I used the wrong settings or because I overestimated my ability to shoot handheld. I'm used to cameras which have image stabilization, so maybe my hands are just a bit more shaky than I thought. Like this one, I really like the colors on this one, the green with the kind of golden glow, but yeah, it's pretty blurry. And of course the image quality in terms of resolution and sharpness and all of this is worse than my mirrorless camera. But I still like the way the pictures look. For one, it's cool to kind of have a story behind every picture. These aren't just some snapshots I took. The camera itself has a long history behind it, being used by my grandpa and now me. Just the way I got my hands on this camera, the way I tried to get it to work again after it's been sitting around for so long, the way I tried to figure out how to even use it, and then going back to my grandparents' place and showing them the images I took on their old camera, they have a story behind them. Also a big reason for me to even start this whole project with the Nintendo DSi and all that. I was very heavily inspired by internet aesthetics, such as weirdcore, liminal space stuff and all of this. Those images are always a bit blurry and grainy and low res, and one of the big reasons why I even tried to see if my Nintendo DSi still worked was because I tried to find a camera which I could use to try to replicate those kind of images I like. And this gives me a pretty similar vibe to this. I for sure want to try to do black and white film photography at some point. I think it could turn out pretty great. These pictures I took here I also thought were pretty cool. Looks kind of magical and mysterious, and where's the road going? I don't know. Guys, what just happened? Originally the plan was that now I'm gonna sit here and talk about what did I like about film photography, what did I not like, and am I gonna do it again? The answer would have been yes anyways, but now I don't get to make the choice anymore. Because my granduncle just sent me 4 more film cameras. And like, at least I still know the brand Canon. What is Cosina? What is Vitomatic? And what even, yeah, let's have these two. So going forward, what am I gonna do? I want to try all of these, of course. So the original plan of trying all of the cameras that are over here, these ones, right? All of the small digicams, camcorders, all of the stuff I've collected. I'm still gonna try all of those as well, but then I want to try all of those. I want to compare them and I want to see what it feels like to use all of those, what the pictures are gonna look like. And I guess I'm just gonna get better at film photography. I've got no choice now. So, one more thing I want to talk about. When I was doing my research, I saw a bunch of people talk about how they thought that using a film camera made them better at photography. Because of the fact you can't take that many pictures because they cost so much and because it takes much longer to take each picture. By the way, I'm gonna put the price I paid per picture on the screen right here. I'm gonna calculate it because you have to pay for the film and for the lab. So that's how much it costs per picture for those of you who don't know.
You can apply filters, presets, emulations. You can change the exposure after the fact. With film, you don't have the same kind of flexibility, not even by a long shot. It requires more effort. And in my opinion, that thinking before you shoot mentality makes you a better photographer overall.
Since every exposure has a price tag, you're more likely to slow down and take more meaningful photos.
There's no virtually endless memory cards that let you just spray and pray and pick off a few good shots, but never really understand why they were good shots.
The hope is that you would slow down and actually start to think critically about what it is you're going to shoot and if it's actually something you want to shoot.
So I'm pretty new to photography. I've got my first real camera in April, and that's the first time I even started taking pictures on a camera that's not a phone. So I'm pretty new to this and I'm still learning. And the way I do photography usually is I find a nice spot, I find a nice angle, I take a shot. Then I walk around some more and see if there's another angle and I take another shot. And then I play around with the settings, I change the settings and I take another shot. And then once I get home, I look at all the pictures on my big screen and I see which ones I like and which ones I don't like. And that's kind of how I figure out how to even take pictures. Which settings to use, which angles to photograph, what kind of pictures work well and which ones I end up not liking. That seems to be something that's pretty frowned upon in the analog photography community. And yeah, it's true that for me, when I was using this camera, obviously I can't do that because I would be broke now. So I walked up and down the whole scene and really tried to find the best possible spot before even taking one shot. But I don't think that that's gonna make me better at photography because I'm not experimenting and I'm not learning which results I like and which ones I don't. I think a good example is this picture right here. So here you could see the next village kind of through the trees. And I was trying to take a picture where the houses in the background are in focus and then the trees in front of them aren't, and you can kind of see the village through the trees. It didn't work out because the image isn't sharp. This was a very experimental picture for me. I've never tried taking a picture like that and it just didn't work. And if I had a digital camera right there, I would have seen that the image isn't sharp and I could have tried changing the setting or changing the focus or something like that to make it work. Or I would have tried different angles and different settings, and then later when I got home I would have figured out what's the best way to take a picture like this. I think it's important to keep in mind that the people who say stuff like this usually are very experienced photographers, and I think maybe at that point, yes, it is helpful to really focus on only taking the best shots you can possibly take. But I think for me as a beginner, I don't see how that's gonna really make me that much better at photography, because I think it kind of disincentivizes beginners from experimenting and really figuring out what works and what doesn't. But I'm still gonna continue to do it, and I'm gonna switch between digital and film and use the digital more for experimentation and really trying to get good at photography, and then the film camera just for the experience. Not really because I think it's gonna make me better, but because I enjoy it. See you in the next video when we try the next camera for my collection.